100,000 miles used to mean something. It used to be the point where most car owners started getting nervous, the point where you'd start budgeting for major repairs, wondering how much life was left, maybe even eyeing the dealership lot. But the automotive world has changed, and engines have changed with it. Ford's EcoBoost lineup in particular has become one of the most talked about engine families of the last 15 years, praised by some, questioned by others, and misunderstood by almost everyone who hasn't actually lived with one past the six-figure mileage mark. Today we're cutting through the marketing, the forum horror stories, and the dealership spin, and we're getting to the real truth about what EcoBoost engines actually look like after 100,000 miles of real-world use. Some of what you're about to hear will surprise you. Some of it will concern you. All of it is something every EcoBoost owner, or anyone thinking about buying one, needs to know. Truth 1. Carbon buildup is real, and it gets worse the longer you ignore it. Let's start with the issue that comes up more consistently than anything else when long-term EcoBoost owners talk honestly about their experience. Carbon buildup on the intake valves is not a rumor, not an exaggeration, and not something that only happens to people who never change their oil. It is a fundamental characteristic of how direct injection engines work, and EcoBoost engines are direct injection engines. Here's what actually happens. In a traditional port-injected engine, fuel is sprayed into the intake port before it reaches the valve, and that fuel acts as a natural solvent, washing carbon deposits off the back of the intake valves with every combustion cycle. Direct injection engines spray fuel directly into the combustion chamber, bypassing the intake valves entirely. That means the valves never get the cleaning bath that port injection provides. Instead, oil vapor from the crankcase ventilation system coats the back of the valves and bakes into a hard carbon crust over tens of thousands of miles. By the time you hit 100,000 miles in a direct injection EcoBoost, that carbon buildup can be significant enough to restrict airflow into the cylinder, cause rough idling, trigger misfires, reduce fuel efficiency, and in severe cases, cause the engine to run noticeably worse than it did at 50,000 miles. The fix: walnut blasting, where pressurized walnut shell media is blasted through the intake ports to chip away the deposits. Works extremely well, but it requires removing the intake manifold and typically costs between $300 and $600 at an independent shop. Many EcoBoost owners who experience mysterious rough running after 100,000 miles have never heard of this service and spend money chasing other diagnoses when the answer was carbon buildup all along. If you own a high-mileage EcoBoost and haven't had this done, it should be at the top of your maintenance conversation with your mechanic. Truth 2. The turbocharger is tougher than you think, but only if you treat it right. The turbocharger is the component that makes EcoBoost engines tick. It's what allows Ford to extract big power from small displacement, and it's also the component that gets the most worried questions from buyers considering a high-mileage EcoBoost. The good news is that the turbochargers in Ford's EcoBoost family are genuinely well-engineered units that are capable of lasting the life of the engine. The bad news is that they are also the component most sensitive to maintenance neglect, and 100,000 miles of improper care will tell on a turbo in ways that are expensive to fix. The turbocharger in your EcoBoost spins at speeds that can exceed 100,000 rotations per minute. At those speeds, the only thing standing between a long-lasting turbo and a destroyed one is clean, properly pressurized oil flowing through the bearing housing without interruption. This means that two habits will determine whether your turbocharger makes it to 200,000 miles or fails before 150. The first is oil change discipline. Turbocharged engines run hotter than naturally aspirated ones, and that heat degrades oil faster. Stretching oil changes, even on a synthetic schedule, is a false economy that costs turbo longevity. The second is what's called heat soak. When you drive hard and shut the engine off immediately, the turbo is still spinning at high temperature with no oil circulation to cool it. The oil that's sitting in the hot bearing housing bakes into coking deposits that gradually restrict oil flow and accelerate bearing wear. The solution is simple. After any demanding drive, let the engine idle for 60 to 90 seconds before shutting it off. For owners who have done this consistently, turbocharger longevity past 100,000 miles is the norm. For those who haven't, turbo replacement is often the expensive lesson that teaches the lesson too late. Truth 3. High-mileage EcoBoosts reveal everything about how the previous owner treated them. This truth is especially important for anyone shopping for a used vehicle with an EcoBoost engine. There is perhaps no engine family in the modern mainstream market where the ownership history matters more to the current condition of the engine. A 100,000-mile EcoBoost that has been maintained meticulously, oil changes on schedule, quality synthetic oil, turbo cool-down respected, proper fuel used, can feel nearly indistinguishable from a much lower mileage example. Conversely, a 60,000-mile EcoBoost that has been pushed hard, fed cheap oil on extended intervals, and shut off hot regularly can already show signs of turbo wear, carbon buildup, and timing chain stretch that suggest a much harder life than the odometer implies. When you're evaluating a used EcoBoost, the maintenance records are not optional reading. They're the most important document in the transaction. Look for consistent oil changes, note what oil viscosity and brand was used, and find out whether the car was used primarily for short trips or highway driving. Short trip driving is particularly hard on direct injection turbocharged engines because the engine rarely fully reaches operating temperature, oil moisture never fully evaporates, and the turbo cycles through heat and cool repeatedly without ever getting a sustained warm operating period. A car with 60,000 mostly highway miles is often in better mechanical shape than one with 40,000 city miles. Ask questions, get the records, and if you can't get records, price in the cost of a pre-purchase inspection by a trusted independent mechanic before you commit. Truth 4. The timing chain system is a legitimate long-term concern on certain EcoBoost variants. Timing chains are supposed to last the life of the engine. They replace timing belts in modern engine design precisely because they don't require scheduled replacement the way belts do. But a timing chain is only as reliable as the tensioner system keeping it tight and the oil keeping it lubricated. And certain EcoBoost variants have demonstrated that this system deserves attention at high mileage, rather than the blind confidence most owners give it. The 3.5-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost, found in the F1500 Expedition and Explorer, has a dual overhead cam configuration with a relatively complex timing chain system, involving multiple chains, guides, and tensioners. In high-mileage examples that have seen extended oil change intervals or oil level neglect, timing chain stretch and tensioner wear become a real concern. The symptoms are often subtle at first, a faint rattle on cold starts that disappears once oil pressure builds, or a slight hesitation in engine response. Left unaddressed, a stretched timing chain can jump a tooth, throw off valve timing, and cause the kind of engine damage that turns a maintenance job into an engine replacement conversation. The 1.0-liter 3-cylinder EcoBoost, used in the Escape and the Bronco Sport, has also drawn attention for timing chain issues in certain production years, with some owners experiencing failures at mileages that feel premature for a chain-driven system. The practical takeaway here is that if you own a high-mileage EcoBoost and hear any kind of cold start rattle that goes away after a few seconds, treat it as a warning that deserves immediate professional attention, rather than something to monitor and live with. Truth 5. Fuel economy. Claims don't hold up the same way. After 100,000 miles. When EcoBoost engines were introduced, Ford's fuel economy numbers were a major part of the marketing story. A turbocharged 4-cylinder getting V6 fuel economy numbers, a turbocharged V6 matching naturally aspirated V8 efficiency figures. The promise was compelling, and in many cases, the early real-world numbers backed it up. But the truth about what EcoBoost fuel economy looks like after 100,000 miles is more nuanced than the sticker on the showroom window. By the time an EcoBoost engine reaches high mileage, several factors combine to erode fuel efficiency in ways the original EPA testing never modeled. Carbon buildup on the intake valves reduces combustion efficiency, meaning the engine has to work harder to produce the same power output. Injector wear can affect fuel spray pattern and atomization, further reducing how completely fuel burns in the cylinder. Turbocharger wear can reduce boost pressure slightly, causing the engine management system to compensate in ways that aren't always efficient. And oxygen sensors, which the engine computer relies on to maintain proper fuel mixture, degrade over time and can throw off the air-fuel ratio without triggering a check engine light until they've already impacted efficiency for thousands of miles. None of these factors individually is catastrophic, but together they can add up to a meaningful reduction in real-world fuel economy compared to what the engine delivered when it was new. The good news is that most of these factors are addressable through targeted maintenance. A walnut blasting service, fresh injectors if needed, new oxygen sensors, and a turbo inspection can restore a significant portion of that lost efficiency. The EcoBoost's fuel economy doesn't have to deteriorate permanently, but it does require active attention to maintain. Truth 6. With proper maintenance, 6-figure EcoBoosts can be exceptional values. Here is the truth that often gets lost in the conversation about high-mileage EcoBoost engines, because negative stories spread faster than positive ones, and because 100,000 miles still carries psychological weight for many buyers. The reality is that properly maintained EcoBoost engines are routinely reaching 200,000 miles and beyond, and the owners driving them there are not doing anything exotic or expensive. They're simply following a sensible maintenance routine with appropriate products and appropriate intervals for a turbocharged direct injection engine. There are F-150s with the 3.5-liter EcoBoost sitting at 250,000 miles that have never had an engine-related repair beyond consumable maintenance items. There are Fusions and Escapes with the 2.0-liter EcoBoost that have crossed 200,000 miles on the original engine and turbocharger. These aren't lucky anomalies. They're the predictable outcome of owners who understood what their engine needed and delivered it consistently. For buyers in the used market, this means a 100,000-mile EcoBoost with documented proper maintenance history is not a gamble. It can be one of the best value propositions in the used car market. A sophisticated, powerful, fuel-efficient engine with potentially 100,000 more reliable miles ahead of it, available at a fraction of the cost of a new vehicle. The key is knowing how to evaluate the maintenance history, knowing what service the engine may still need, and being realistic about the ongoing maintenance commitment a turbocharged direct injection engine requires to deliver on that promise. Truth 7. What you do between now and 200,000 miles is what matters most. The final truth about EcoBoost engines after 100,000 miles is perhaps the most empowering one. Where your engine is at 100,000 miles is largely history. You can learn from it, you can address whatever deferred maintenance exists, but you can't change it. What you absolutely can control is what happens from here forward, and the decisions you make in the next 100,000 miles will determine whether your EcoBoost becomes a success story or a cautionary tale. Start with an honest assessment of where things stand right now. When did the timing chain last get attention? Has the intake ever been cleaned? What is the condition of the spark plugs on a turbocharged engine? Worn plugs work harder and run hotter than they should, and EcoBoost engines with their higher cylinder pressures are particularly sensitive to plug condition. Is the intercooler clean and the charge pipes in good condition? Is the PCV system functioning properly? Because a failing PCV valve is one of the fastest ways to accelerate carbon buildup and create oil consumption issues on a direct injection engine. None of these inspections or services is outrageously expensive individually. Together, they form a 100,000-mile reset that puts your EcoBoost in the best possible position for the road ahead. After that, the formula is straightforward. Quality synthetic oil changed every 5,000 to 7,000 miles, a turbo cool-down routine after demanding drives, premium fuel if your engine calls for it, and attention to any symptom that presents itself rather than a wait-and-see approach. An EcoBoost engine that gets this treatment after 100,000 miles doesn't enter a period of decline. It enters its prime. The bottom line. The truth about EcoBoost engines after 100,000 miles is not a simple story. It's not the horror story that forum threads written by frustrated owners sometimes suggest, and it's not the trouble-free fairy tale that Ford's marketing materials imply. It is, like most things in the real world, a story where the outcome depends enormously on the decisions made along the way. Carbon buildup is real and manageable. Turbo longevity is achievable and maintenance-dependent. Timing chain health is worth monitoring. Fuel economy is recoverable with targeted service. And the engine's ceiling, how far it can genuinely go, is higher than most people assume when they're standing at the 100,000-mile mark wondering what the future looks like. If you own a high-mileage EcoBoost, the message is not to panic. The message is to get informed, get current on the maintenance items that matter most for your specific engine, and commit to the habits that give turbocharged direct injection engines their best chance at a long life. This engine family has earned its place in automotive history. Whether yours becomes one of the success stories is, more than anything else, up to you. Drop a comment and tell me which EcoBoost you're running and what the mileage is right now. I want to know how many high-mileage EcoBoost owners are out there watching this. Subscribe for more honest, deep-dive content on the engines and vehicles that actually matter in everyday life. We'll see you in the next one.